Exactly how do you make a sale? Stick around to find out. So thanks for checking us out. If this is your first time here, I strongly recommend you go back and watch episode 1 to see why I'm doing this. If you don't know why, you don't know half the picture. So in this episode, we're going to look at the actual process I use when I'm selling a shed to somebody. Now in the last episode, we talked about the fact that sales was a process. And if you can figure out what your sales process is, it's much easier to sell whatever product it is that you're selling. So we're going to look at the process I use to sell sheds, and then we'll look at an actual client interaction that I had, the emails and the back and forth, to see how it actually worked. So first, let's take a look at the actual process that I use. So it always starts off with the initial inquiry. And this usually comes from one of 4 places for what I sell. The first is going to be either from my website, the second, a Facebook ad, third, a Kijiji ad, or fourth, a referral from a neighbor. Now, all of those have their pros and cons. 2 of them work really well for me. The other 2 take a little bit longer. If the referral comes from my own website or from a referral from a neighbor, the sales process is usually pretty quick. After the first step, I can usually skip down to the 4th or 5th or 6th step in the process and move right into the actual confirmation of a sale. Those ones are usually pretty straightforward. If it comes from the Facebook ad or from the Kijiji ad, usually there's a lot more information I need to provide to the client before they actually can make a buying decision. So that's step 1, is the inquiry. Where does that come from? And it sort of dictates what happens next. The second step in the process, and again, this is only usually for people that are inquiring from Facebook or from Kijiji, is to find out why they need a shed. All of us have seen those kinds of ads where someone can just click the "is this still available" link and have it send a note to whoever's selling whatever to find out if the thing is still available. And they probably haven't even really looked into the item or looked at the website or found out any information about what the shed is or how big it is or what it can do for them. They've just simply clicked the button and sent it off just to see if someone replies. So when I get those, the very first thing I try to find out is why the person's looking for one. And it's usually one of 4 reasons. Number 1, they want their garage space back. They want to get their garbage and recycling bins out of their garage so they have more room. Number 2, their garbage bins and recycling bins aren't even in their garage, they're outside, and the raccoons are getting into them, and they want to be able to stop that. Number 3 is their bins are outside of their garage. They're not being bothered by raccoons, but they just don't like looking at them. They want to hide them from view from everybody who happens to be walking by their house. And it's an aesthetics thing. And the 4th one is the person doesn't really know why they want one. And those are the hardest ones because they take the most work to actually sell, because the person doesn't have an emotional hook or a reason that they're actually interested in getting one. They kind of just saw one, clicked "I'm interested in it," and sent it off. Most of those truthfully don't turn into sales. Those ones are people that are just sort of kicking the tires and probably never actually will buy. But we start taking them through the process anyways because it doesn't take that much time, and some of them do turn into sales. Step number 3, find out where the person lives. Now this is important for me for 2 reasons. The first reason is that if they live either where I live in the Peel region or next door to me in Toronto, they have standardized bin sizes, which then dictates the size of the shed that they need to buy. If they live somewhere else, the bin sizes can be pretty much anything, so we need to find out what their bin sizes are to determine which shed is going to be appropriate for them. Now, the nice thing about finding out if they live in Peel or Toronto is that I'm not telling them what size of shed they need. That's being dictated by the size of the garbage cans and recycling bins that they have. If they're living outside of the region, finding out how big their bin sizes are also dictates the size of the shed that they get. So finding out that is really important, because then it's not me selling them the shed. It's just simply, if this is how big your bins are, this is the shed you need, right? The small, medium, large, or something that's custom sized. So at this point, I know where they live, I know the size of bins that they need, and why they're looking for them. And at this point, I'm ready to give them a quote. And it's here where I take the first opportunity to offer them fries with their shed. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to the last video and you will. So the first fry that I offer them is asking whether or not they want to stick with the sliding doors that come standard with the shed, or if they want to switch to the swinging doors. Once I know that piece of information, then I'm ready to give them a quote. And I always do the quote by email so that it becomes a sort of a written document between us, so we understand what's being sold and what's being provided, and there's no question about it when it actually arrives. And that email always goes out in two sections, or one email, but it's got essentially two sections to it. The first section provides a quote based on what we've talked about. So they're looking for the medium-sized shed and they want the swinging doors, and that's X number of dollars. The second part of the email is where I introduce the other two fries that I have to offer, and that is painting the shed for them and upgrading the handles to cast iron or wrought iron handles. So the email starts off with the first quote and it says, but if you're interested in us painting it for you or upgrading the handles, here's what the price is. So now they've got the original price with what we had talked about, and then the price with the add-ons attached to it. And then they can pick and choose which one it is that they want. Would you like this one or would you like that one? Then every email from that point ends off the exact same way. And it goes like this. So let me know if you have any questions. I have 2 or 3 sheds ahead of you to build, so let me know if you're interested. If you're not sure, then let me just put you on the wait list to hold your spot, and I can connect with you to confirm just before I'm ready to build. No need for a deposit or anything. I prefer to go with the Faith in Humanity payment plan. So shoot me a note and let me know what you think. And that's it. I send that email off and then I wait. Now, by that stage, 9 out of 10 of them will come back saying, yep, put me on the list. One may come back with a couple of questions or just saying, no, I've thought about it and I'm not interested. So let's take a look at a real inquiry that I got and the emails that followed, so you can kind of see where all the stuff fits into that process. So this is the original email that I received through our website. It was an inquiry from someone looking for a shed, and it gives me their name and their email address. And the message is, hi, I'm interested in the large size enclosure. Do you deliver to Burlington, which is a city not too far from where I am? Right away in that email, I already know where the guy lives. I know the size of shed that he's looking for. I don't know why he wants it, but clearly he's already decided that he has, because he's reached out to me asking for it. So I already know a lot of the information that I need to know before I can give a quote to him. So then my email back to him was this. Thanks for inquiring. I will deliver to Burlington, but if we could throw in $10 for gas, that would be appreciated. I have 2 sheds to build ahead of yours, but so we're probably talking about a week and a half or so. If that's okay with you, I'll add you to the wait list to hold your spot. I will reconfirm with you just before I start to build yours. No deposit required. I go with the Faith in Humanity payment plan. So just confirm and I will add you to the list. So the third email that he sent back was this. That's great. I just want to confirm the final price then. Large shed, swinging doors, door handles, gas for delivery. He's already confirmed he wants the large shed. He's now opted for the swinging doors for door handles. And when I confirmed with him, he wasn't talking about the upgraded door handles. He was just making sure the doors would have handles. And then gas for delivery. So then my email back to him was, here's the breakdown. Large shed, $735. Swinging doors, $45. $10 for gas, for a total of $785. You mentioned the handles, and I'm assuming that you meant the regular handles, not the cast iron upgraded handles. If that assumption is correct, the price above is correct. There's no tax on that because I don't make enough yet to charge tax. Just confirm back and I will add you to the list. I'm finishing up 2 this week, then I can start on yours. And then the last email back from him. Hi Greg, that sounds great. Let's go ahead with this. Thank you. And that's it. It doesn't have to be complicated, especially if you have a website with all the information that someone's going to want. When they reach out to you, 80% of the buying decision for them is already done. So it's just a matter of confirming options that they want, confirming the price, and then letting them know when it is you can actually deliver the product that you're trying to sell them. So let's look at the scorecard for this week. The goal for sheds is $7,000. We've earned $850 because we delivered 2 more sheds this week. And we also made 2 more sales this week. For cutting boards, we're still at $2,000 and having earned $150 profit. And for t-shirts, we're still sitting on 0, but that's because I haven't done anything with it yet. So that's it for this week. If you don't mind clicking the like and the subscribe button, that would be great. And if you want to leave a comment, I'll be sure to get back to you. Make sure you tune in next week when we'll be talking about either t-shirts or practical things I do to keep myself organized. Until then, have a great week.